What's up guys, it's Timo here and welcome back to the brand new latest Liverpool transfer news video. And many various sources in Germany and in England are reporting that Timo Werner is taking English lessons and he wants to move to the Premier League, and especially he wants to move to Liverpool. And the verdict is that once the travel ban is over and once it will be safe for Timo Werner to have personal discussions, one-to-one discussions with Jurgen Klopp himself, then they will sit down together and just basically have a talk on how Timo Werner sees his future and what kind of role Liverpool wants to give him in the coming season. So let me know guys, do you want Timo Werner to become a Liverpool player? I think he's an absolute bargain for 50 million. Remember that this guy consistently scored 20 goals on average per season up until this season, but this season he has 27 goals already and the season is only 3/4 finished, so he could still score more than 30 goals easily once the Bundesliga season is finished. And sources in Germany are pretty certain that Timo Werner will leave RB Leipzig in the summer, and Liverpool is seen as his number one destination, the number one club that is keen on Timo Werner. But what makes it difficult is that because of the travel ban, Jurgen Klopp couldn't invite Timo Werner and his representatives over to Liverpool or to London to discuss personal matters and to discuss how Timo Werner sees himself being integrated into the Liverpool team. And also Jurgen Klopp wanted to tell his own plans towards Timo Werner to his face. And Timo Werner is a huge admirer of Jurgen Klopp. He constantly said in interviews this season that he considers Jurgen Klopp as the best coach or one of the best coaches in the world, and Liverpool as the best team in the world, and he would love to play for Liverpool. And Timo Werner even said that he knows that he needs to improve if he wants to consistently play for Liverpool, which is kind of amazing. And it's very rare to see a player being so open and honest about his ambitions and his goals and his dreams of playing for Liverpool. And according to these sources in Germany, Werner is already taking English lessons. And he already speaks a bit of English, but he wants his English to be very, very good, almost perfect, so he can really hit the ground running when he comes to Liverpool, when he comes to England, because a language barrier is always hard to overcome for a player. So I think it makes sense for Timo Werner to have English language lessons in his home during this time. And also guys, if you guys enjoy these transfer news videos, please leave a like. It really helps me out, shows me you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you never miss the latest Liverpool transfer news. One concern for Liverpool is that Timo Werner is also admired by FC Barcelona, who have been also in touch with Timo Werner's representatives according to some sources. But at the moment it looks like Timo Werner prefers Liverpool, and I think the reason why is pretty clear. He loves already Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp is a German manager, Timo Werner is German. Jurgen Klopp is a very popular guy in Germany, so almost all players who want to play abroad, who are German, would love to play under Jurgen Klopp, I'm pretty certain. I mean, the one thing that I can tell you how popular Jurgen Klopp is among the players and among just people. I mean, Gary Neville, who is a die-hard Manchester United fan, he's a Manchester United legend. He was asked, out of all the current managers in the Premier League, which manager would he want to play under the most, and he answered Jurgen Klopp. Even though he hates Liverpool, he still said Jurgen Klopp is the manager that Gary Neville would love to play for out of all the 20 managers in the Premier League currently, which says a lot that even Gary Neville said that Jurgen Klopp is just so amazing that he would love to play for him. The problem is, because of the financial crisis and because of how uncertain the current situation is, Liverpool and Timo Werner are holding out. RB Leipzig are also holding out, and nobody really can predict what the fallout will be and how big the fallout will be after this situation is over, which means that Liverpool right now can't justify spending 50 million pounds on Timo Werner. It looks like a good deal, it sounds like a good deal, but even Liverpool FC don't know what kind of financial situation they will find themselves in once this crisis is over. And until the Premier League has a clear date when it will restart, and until Liverpool can plan on, you know, incoming revenues like the sponsorship money, the TV deal money, and everything else. Until that is certain, until that money is certain, Liverpool can't really justify spending 50 million on Timo Werner. So that's why the Timo Werner transfer is on hold at the moment. But the fact that Werner is taking English lessons is very clear indication that he didn't give up on his dream Liverpool move, and he still wants to move to the Premier League and wants to move to Liverpool. But Leipzig CEO is actually saying that so far no clubs have contacted them, RB Leipzig, regarding the Timo Werner transfer. So Oliver Mintzlaff, who is the CEO of Leipzig, said this in an interview to a newspaper called General Anzeiger. Neither Jurgen Klopp nor Bayern Munich chairman Karl-Heinz Rummenigge contacted me so far over Timo Werner. We are happy that we were able to extend the contract with Werner until 2023. He played a really strong first half of the season. We also believe that we are still a very good stage for Timo Werner on which to develop as a German international football player. But also Mintzlaff went on to play down Leipzig's chances to become champions ahead of Bayern Munich. This is what he said. It is now important for us not to deal with the championship, the title race, but to focus on the fact that we must qualify for the Champions League again. This will be difficult enough because there are at least 5 teams fighting for the Champions League places in the Bundesliga. There has been talks of the Bundesliga potentially could restart in the middle or the second part of May. Also, there was a suggestion that if the situation gets a lot worse, then the Bundesliga could be cancelled, but that is at the moment a remote possibility. But still, Mintzlaff talked about this, saying that would be an absolute disaster, cancelling the season, because it could lead many clubs to bankruptcy. We love the diversity of the Bundesliga and every fan wants it to continue as it is. Therefore, we want to do everything possible to prevent this disaster and to finish the season. And it makes a lot of sense for all parties concerned to finish the season, not just in the Bundesliga, but in the Premier League and in other clubs as well. And the Sport Bild newspaper in Germany is claiming that Timo Werner will meet with Jurgen Klopp once the travel ban is lifted and once it's safe to do so. And that is very clear indication that Timo Werner wants Liverpool, Liverpool wants Timo Werner. It's just a delay in the transfer dealings. At the moment, everything is basically stopping in the world, and in terms of economy, football, a lot of stuff. So I think we just need to be patient, but I still wanted to keep you guys in the loop on what is going on with the Timo Werner to Liverpool transfer situation. So I really hope that you guys appreciate it, that I gather all this information for you guys to hear, to enjoy. And Timo Werner not only scored 27 goals in 36 matches this season, but he also provided 12 assists, which shows that he can also link up play, and he is not a very selfish player who is focused on only one thing, scoring goals. And if any of you guys know any stats about how many assists Robert Lewandowski has a lot more goals than Timo Werner. Lewandowski has 39 goals, if the stats are correct, in 33 games, which is just an outrageous number. And Lewandowski consistently is scoring 40 goals per season. For this will be his 5th season where he scores 40 plus goals, which is absolutely insane. Honestly, he has 230 goals in 275 games for Bayern Munich, which is just out of this world. But Lewandowski is a complete striker. Timo Werner is still a young player. And I think Timo Werner can be a 25-30 goal a season striker for Liverpool. I honestly believe that he is that good. And for 50-60 million pounds, it would be an absolute bargain for Liverpool to get him. And I really hope we do. Once this pandemic is over, or at least when the situation is a little bit better, I think they will sit down together, Werner and Liverpool, and discuss everything, and we can move forward with the transfer. And the Brighton owner also spoke out on the Premier League, and this is what he said. I don't foresee a situation if the season's not played out and not properly finished that teams will get relegated on a points per game basis. I just don't think that it's fathomable that a team which is not allowed to play out the season may lose out on a 0.2 of a point based on this system. Also, it does not take into account the strength of teams that you have not played. You may get a title winner, obviously Liverpool deserve it, you may use that criteria for European qualification, but I do not see how anyone can vote for that. Certainly the percent needed for teams to get relegated. And of course, it's very concerning for Brighton as well, because they are in and around the relegation zone. I think every team wants the season finished, in all honesty. Maybe the clubs like Tottenham and West Ham and other clubs who are at the moment in mid-table and they won't gain anything from potentially the season being finished. I mean, the season finishing with the rest of the games played. But it's very, very frustrating for me to hear people like Harry Kane, Kevin De Bruyne saying that the season should be cancelled, the season should be voided. So many teams, so many players, so many fans put so much time, effort, money, work, hours into the season so far. Like 75% of the season is already completed. Why not finish it when it's safe to do so before starting next one? And finally, the mayor of Madrid, Jose Luis Martinez Almeida, also spoke on Spanish radio station Onda Cero, and he said that it was a huge mistake for Atletico of Madrid fans to be allowed to travel to Liverpool for the Champions League clash on March the 11th. This is what he said. Of course, it didn't make any sense that 3,000 Atletico Madrid fans could travel to Anfield. Yes, it was a mistake, with hindsight of course, but even then there should have been more caution. And I blame partly the British government, but partly also UEFA, who gave the green light for this game to go ahead. The footballers, the managers, the staff, the football staff around the football clubs just followed orders from the government, from the UEFA. They were ordered to play that game, so they couldn't just say, well, we are not playing the game, because then the game would be voided and the team who refused to play would receive a 3-0 loss, and of course the fans would be so mad and so livid. But I believe that some people who will actually die or who already died from this disease in Liverpool or even in Madrid who went to the game, those deaths could have prevented, and it's just really sad and painful to see. And also it was reported that the Prime Minister missed 5 crucial Cobra meetings before he went to hospital and before this really got a lot worse in the UK, and he was just very negligent and didn't stand up as a leader and make tough decisions. And it's really painful to see that probably thousands of innocent people's lives could have been saved if Great Britain reacted earlier, if they didn't follow this ludicrous idea of try to get herd immunity. And Ian Rush, the former Liverpool player and Liverpool legend, spoke about the prospect of Premier League games being played behind closed doors. This is what he said in an interview. I've never played a game behind closed doors, so I don't know what it's like, but I don't think it would bring the best out of me. If you are playing in front of no one, it begs the question, would you be any good? Would you be up for it, first of all? Would it be the same as a normal game in front of a big crowd? I don't think so. If Liverpool are at home and they can win the league, I want to be there, even if we all have to be 2 meters apart. But seriously, if it doesn't happen and the Premier League is declared null and void, then you have to move on and not let it affect you. This Liverpool team is the best I've ever seen, and I'm certain they will come again. There's no way Liverpool can be awarded the title without the season being finished. Wow, that's a very big statement from Ian Rush, and I don't necessarily agree with him. If the the Premier League won't get null and void, because then no team will be able to play in the Champions League or in the Europa League next season. UEFA already said you can't void your season if you want your teams to play in next season's Champions League and Europa League. So I think that is a very, very remote scenario. However, I can see the Premier League doing a similar thing to what Belgium is doing, that they just finish the season and award the positions to the teams currently in those positions, and also maybe have no relegation like in Belgium, and just have the two teams promoted from the second division and have a 22 team Premier League next season. That's one scenario, but I think that's also a very remote possibility. I think the Premier League wants to finish the season whenever it's safe to do so. Eric Cantona is also said in an interview, I would be delighted if we could restart football as it was before. If we start on June 17th because there's no more problems for anyone, that's great. But to resume playing football in front of nobody just because TV stations have suspended payments, that's not great, is it? You can have exactly the same stakes, the same players, but a match behind closed doors isn't a proper football match. The energy that the fans give off, that they transmit to the players, that lifts the players. You have seen Champions League games behind closed doors. If it was some matches, same stakes, but it wasn't the same. There's none of the passion. The players need that energy. It's like at the theater. To play in front of an empty room or a full room, it's completely different. And I agree with Cantona. I really hope that Liverpool get to complete the season and get to properly win the title without fans. If that's the only way you can complete the season, I would say do it. I would wait another month if it's possible to have fans in the stadiums when completing the Premier League, but I think the earliest we can talk about that is June or July. Just painful to see and very sad to see that in the UK so many people died or will die because of the British government's hesitancy and the negligence. And I heard that they were listening to experts at that time, but what kind of experts did recommend the British government to not close down the country earlier? Because Ireland, who is very close to Great Britain, they are very similar in a lot of ways. They have the same amount of ICU beds, similar to Great Britain. Why did Ireland close down a lot of schools, bars, restaurants 2 weeks earlier than Great Britain? 2 whole weeks earlier. That's really, really painful. And I also heard that Ireland is testing like twice as many people as Great Britain, and they still have Great Britain still have 2.5 times the amount of deaths than Ireland if you take into account the population. So if you just see the averages of the amount of cases that you have and the amount of deaths you have over 1 million people of the population, Ireland has 2.5 times less cases than Great Britain, with like testing twice as many people, which is just absolutely crazy. It shows how bad the situation is in the Great Britain, and I really hope that you guys are staying safe. I really hope that you guys can stay indoors as much as you can and just not get into contact with people. And we shall wait and see how the situation develops. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.